Okay, good day, guys. Good day to you all. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. Thanks for being here. Guys, I want to talk about two things. One, Leon Bailey for the Reggae Boys and also our center backs, right? I'm going to get into Leon Bailey first. Um, will we ever see the best of Leon Bailey for the Reggae Boys? And I ask that question because I am wondering if we really and truly will ever see it. Right? Any of you guys have seen, I mean, look, when you watch Leon Bailey at Bayer Leverkusen, we have seen some mercurial performances from Leon Bailey. Some absolutely mercurial performances from Leon Bailey for Bayer Leverkusen. One would think that the player would walk through Concacaf because let's be real, the Bundesliga is one of the top leagues in the world. Right? In my humble opinion, all right, let me give you an example of what I really mean. I've seen Leon Bailey ball Bayern Munich. There is no team in Concacaf that is better than Bayern Munich, right? Bayern Munich, Suriname. As a matter of fact, Bayern Munich, Suriname. Them never depend on you get me? So them like you would think. I have seen Leon Bailey just produce some absolutely amazing performances for Bayer Leverkusen. I always allude to his second time playing Bayern Munich. That particular game and that particular Friday afternoon, right, in his first full season at Bayer Leverkusen, second time he faced Bayern Munich, right? He balled Bayern Munich. That was the first time I really realized how good this player can be. Like when I saw that game, and we have seen it on more than one occasion. We have seen him ball Borussia Dortmund, ball RB Leipzig, top clubs in the German Bundesliga, top clubs in world football, and we have seen him ball these clubs on more than one occasion, right? Even that particular performance, people. You talk about skill, the particular performance against Bayern Munich. You talk about skill, power, pace, technique. Every time he got the ball in that particular game that I'm referring to, Bayern Munich's defense looked shaky. So you would think that the player would walk through Concacaf. Look at players like Pulisic in the Nations League, Gio Reyna in the Nations League. You see players like Chucky Lozano, Raul Jimenez, right? In Concacaf, Brian Ruiz, right? I mean, the list goes on and on. Players who are playing at a high level. Jonathan David scored a hat-trick the other day against Suriname, right? Alphonso Davies balled Suriname, right? Players who are playing at a certain level, right? In top 5 leagues in Europe, especially starting in top 5 leagues in Europe, and especially the ones who are starring in top 5 leagues in Europe, like Leon Bailey, right? When they come into Concacaf, they usually star up Concacaf, right? Bailey is not starring for the Reggae Boys, right? I think that there could be a couple reasons for that, right? Well, there's one reason in particular that I think is hampering Leon Bailey. I think the player is a form player, and I've been saying it for a long time. It takes him a couple games to get going, right? Even for club, it takes him a couple games. When he starts a Bundesliga season, it takes him a couple games to get going, right? Unfortunately, you don't have that luxury in international football. You need to hit the ground running immediately. You need to hit the ground running ASAP, right? And I think that's working against him. Probably his superstar status as well. In terms of, in my opinion, he is above and beyond by far the best player on the Reggae Boys national team currently. For this current squad, and also previous squads, right? And I think because of that, far more attention is placed on Bailey and shutting down Bailey, right? Than, I mean, we saw it in the Suriname game yesterday. He was double teamed a lot, right? So I think that's probably could be a reason as well. In terms of, let me give you an example. You see, in the Mexican team, you have a couple players that you can worry about. Chucky Lozano, Raul Jimenez, Porto, Jesus Corona, right? Hector Herrera, Andres Guardado, right? For the US, you have Pulisic, you have Reyna, you have where played a lot of games for a league winning team. Right, he wasn't the starter, but he played a lot of games for a league winning team. That is a player that should come into Concacaf and do very well. Right, he is used to football at a much higher level than Concacaf, a top 5 league in Europe. Right, and for the winning team in a top 5 league in Europe. Right, so you have to worry for the United States too about McKennie, right? Tyler Adams, Eunice Musa, right? For you know, the Mexicans already named a couple players, you know. But my thing is that, you know, for Jamaica, really and truly, Leon Bailey is so far and beyond the best player currently and previously in our squad in recent years that, you know, yes, we have other players that they need to worry about, but you understand what I'm saying? Is not the same level. Like, it's not like you have multiple players in our team that are playing very well and starring in top 5 leagues in Europe, while you have other teams that have that luxury, right? So I don't know if it's probably a case also that they are paying more attention to Leon Bailey. But, you know, even today, I don't think there's any excuse, guys, right? I mean, I thought when Leon Bailey was coming on board for the national program, he would walk through Concacaf. You know, some might make the argument that we're unfairly judging the player, because I don't think he has particularly played poorly for the national team, right? I just think that we're judging him against the backdrop of what we know the player can do. I've seen Leon Bailey light up some of the best teams in world football, ball them, right? Ball them, the man must can walk through Concacaf with ease. We see Davis walk through Concacaf. We see David walk through Concacaf and Pulisic, Reina, you name it. Bailey should be walking through Concacaf, honestly, man. And I'm wondering if because he's a foreign player, especially, I think is the main reason. I hope that the player grows out of that and is able to perform at his highest level, even if he hasn't played, you know, a couple of games prior, even if he hasn't had those couple of games to get himself warmed up, right? Because for international football, you need to hit the ground running immediately. Bailey, I think this player has the ability to be a top 20 player in the world at the very least. I think this player, if he fulfills his true potential, could be challenging for a Ballon d'Or. I know some people will disagree with me, but I've seen some mercurial performances from Leon Bailey. Man, I tell you, in that particular Bayern Munich game and others as well, every time him get the ball, Bayern Munich just looks shaky. Leon Bailey is a baller, right? And I think that Bayer Leverkusen's inconsistency as a team as well hampers his ability to really shine. I think if you put him in a better team, he would look like a much better player than he looks now, even at Leverkusen, and he already looks like a good player. I also think that because we have problems progressing the ball up the park, I think that Theodore Tapper Whitmore gives him a lot of responsibility to come deep and help to build the player. Or a lot of times he's forced to come deep and help the play up the pitch, right? Leon Bailey needs a free role for the Reggae Boys as well, right? So, guys, you know, even in the Suriname game yesterday, I think he was the worst starter for us in the Suriname game. I think all of the other starters, right, in the Suriname game yesterday were better than Leon Bailey, right? I mean, the argument could be made that the play that he scored the goal on, not he scored the goal on, but the first goal, right? That particular play that Shamar Nicholson scored the goal on, right? Yes, you know, he was instrumental, right, in that play, right? Boza eventually finished off the play. But when you look at that play, you know, right, okay, it was good for Leon Bailey to find space in between the lines, collect the ball, start running at the Suriname defense, right? Drop the shoulder, dash to a defender. The shooting channel opened for our star baller, Leon Bailey, and the man itch for pull the trigger. Leon Bailey for Bayer Leverkusen would have, at the very least in that situation, forced an excellent save from the goalkeeper. Bailey for Jamaica never even pulled the trigger and the shooting channel opened, right? He had some good touches on the ball in the Suriname game, you know, and like a flick over one brother, a dash for one brother. You know, him beat 1 and 2 players in the game and, you know, had some good touches, right? But for the most part, Leon Bailey was not anywhere near. I mean, I don't even think I'm judging him in this particular instance based on what the player can do. I just think that the player performance was not that good in this Suriname game. He had some good touches on the ball. Yes, the argument could be made, said them they had dog him up. Yes, the argument could be made that there were some crunching tackles. Yes, the argument could be made that he was being double teamed, right? And yes, the argument could be made, you know, other teams pay a lot more attention on him, right? But I just still think I've seen Leon Bailey start against the biggest teams in the world. Bailey should be walking through Concacaf, right? Up next, and I certainly hope that the player grows out of his form player style, so to speak. And if Leon Bailey can touch the heights for the Reggae Boys, trust me, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. The player is just exceptional. Up next, I want to talk about Liam Moore and Damion Lowe's performance in yesterday's game. Liam Moore and Damion Lowe were excellent. You see that ball of the Liam Moore? People, barring the Japan U23 game, which was obviously a calamity, right? I mean, we never got talk about that. People that never even happened. From here on out, we must not even mention that football game. Is as if it never happened, right? But apart from that, you know, unmentioned game, every time we have seen Liam Moore play for the Reggae Boys, he has balled. He's always in the conversation for, barring that Japan game, he's always in the conversation for our man of the match. Always. And I'm telling you, man, when I saw the first game, I saw this player play for Reading, right? After I heard him being linked to the national program and decided to check him out. When I saw the player play, I was like, whoa, if this player plays like this on a consistent basis for Reading, we have gotten ourselves a gem. The man is just a general in the backline. A general in the backline. He is a blessing to our national program. You hear Cataract and coaches just talking about even his attitude. You know, Cataract is in Orlando, right? And was privy to seeing the team train and all of that. And he's talking about how the player is staying back after training to work on aspects of his game, his body language in training, his attitude in training is just how serious he is and how seriously he's taking this thing, right? The man wants to play for Jamaica. And I don't even think it's that alone. I think he's generally that type of a intense kind of a player who just take the game seriously, right? His body language on the pitch for Jamaica is amazing. His work ethic on the pitch is amazing. His concentration levels. I mean, trust me, man, what a gem. You can see he really wants to play for Jamaica. His body language, his attitude, his work ethic says it all. He does it for club and country. What a blessing to our national program. Damion Lowe. Damion Lowe is a very good player for the Reggae Boys as well. I thought he was the man of the match in the Suriname game. It is so reassuring that our backline is the strongest aspect of our game. You see, especially with our relatively weak midfield, it is so reassuring. It is so reassuring that our backline is so strong, guys. All of our defenders are very good. Moore, you know, Lowe, Pinnock, and even Mariapa as well, who has been a very humble and very loyal and very good servant for the Reggae Boys. Even though, in my opinion, he's not as good as he used to. Obviously, age, in my opinion, has caught up with him a bit. I still think he can do a fairly decent job for the Reggae Boys as a centre-back, right? But our defense line is very good. It is the strongest aspect of our game, and it is very reassuring, especially with the problems we have in midfield. It is very reassuring. They were the reasons mostly why Suriname did not even look like they had any intention of breaking the Reggae Boys down in yesterday's Suriname game, much less to actually try and do it, right? They did not come close to breaking Jamaica down, in my opinion, right? I did not have a really and true. There was one particular moment earlier on in the game, and it was a bit of a nail-biting moment. Also, the Becca shot. But apart from that, you know, the backline held up very well. Damion Lowe, I thought you were the man of the match for me. I thought you did exceptionally well. You are a very good player. You should not be in Egypt. You should have gone to Italy. That is another story for another time. But big up to the defenders in the back line, man. It is very reassuring to have such good quality defenders in our back line, right? So, you know, guys, take care. You know, that's my 2 cents. Take care. You know, stay safe. And until next time.